Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our community. I want to get into relevance today, and more specifically, your relevance as it relates to other people's point of view. As I get into the back half of life and I start thinking about my younger days in my teens, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s, I think about a lot of the decisions that I made, and were these the decisions I made because I wanted to make them, or was I trying to make them for the benefit of how others perceive me? And I can tell you from firsthand experience that when you do things because you want to have someone else recognize whatever your accomplishment was, or you want someone else to see what you've been able to do, what I can tell you is it's a very unfulfilling destiny. And while you might have some immediate enjoyment from the praise, accolade, viewpoint of others, in the long game, it doesn't really matter. And I can tell you that time goes really fast. And I know I sound kind of like an old person here in saying that, but time truly does speed by. It seems like just yesterday that I was starting my first business, and that was 31 years ago. And, excuse me, a lot happens in 31 years. And over that last, 3 decades, I've looked back at a lot of the decisions that I've made, and some of those decisions were made for the benefit of others, and really more specifically the benefit of how others perceived me. And I put myself through, a decision, a process, a level of commitment for something to me that really didn't matter. And what I can tell you is that when you start worrying about the relevance of yourself through the eyes of others, you're never going to be satisfied. And it's even worse now. And I feel really bad for a lot of the younger generation that grew up with social media and this instant go, get it, everyone's a millionaire tomorrow attitude, because there may be those examples of people who have immediate success, but the majority of people don't. And the majority of people have to work really hard for a really long period of time to have success. And when you worry about what others perceive you, it doesn't matter. And I think about all the people who I've interacted in my 31 years of business, and a lot of them I'm still very close with, but there's a lot of people who were at one brief moment of my business life relevant, and today I don't have any interaction with. People who, were only there because of, a circumstance of time, a business, a, deal that was going down. And, really, the things that matter are the way that you feel inside. And, as I get, again, older and into the back half of my life here, I really want to spend my time doing things that matter to me and make me feel happy and complete and satisfied. And sometimes those things are, aligned, and some things that I'm driving for are also things that are important and meaningful, and will have relevance to others. But again, I don't want to base my decisions on that. And this is a bit of a, rambling session, from me. And I just want to use this as an opportunity to tell you, like, when you turn 50, which is what I am, and you look back at the career that you've had, the businesses that you've started, what matters is, how did you feel in the moment? How did you perceive what you were trying to accomplish? Did you feel satisfaction in it? And you can't let your satisfaction be how others perceive you. It's a very shallow and unfulfilling journey. And I've gotten a ton of accolades, and I'm not saying accolades are bad. I'm just simply saying, do what matters to you. Focus on the things that bring joy and happiness, and don't feel like everything has to be this go-go hustle mentality. And Again, everybody paints this picture on social media that, this is the grind era and you got to hustle hard and you got to do this and you got to do that, and all that stuff is important. But I mean, again, do things that are meaningful to you, because at the end of the day, money is relevant until it's not. And once you have all your basic necessities covered, like, unless you're planning on flying around in private jets and yachts and that's, important to you, like, embrace what you got, man. Enjoy the journey and really, look at the day-to-day challenges that you're facing and ask yourself the question of, are these decisions being made because I believe in them, or are these decisions being made because I want to show somebody up, or I want to prove to somebody, that I'm right? And I just think that for true happiness to come, especially as an entrepreneur where you're dealing with so many bad things on a daily basis, like, you got to do things that bring you joy, little wins, little successes, little things that make you feel good. And if it's relevance to others, then listen, more power to you. If that's your thing, then that's your thing. I just want you to be, objective, look internally, and ask yourself what's important and focus on the things that matter. Because, when you're done, you're looking back and you're hanging out with the people who are closest to you, those are the people that you're going to want to have those memories with. And, the decisions you made along the way, and the time you spent trying to impress others can be very unfulfilling. So impress yourself. Wake up every morning, be happy with what you got, look to what you're trying to build and why, be present in the moment, focus on the important things around you, and impress yourself. Make yourself impressed, not others. Hope you find this helpful. Just me rambling today a little bit, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our community. Please remember to like and comment, and most importantly, share. It's important to get the message out there. Have a good day.